Well, here we are. It is Friday. It is August 23rd, the release day of the Shrouded Fable Elite Trainer Box, the day where we are finally giving away our master set, the Fan Clan master set of Shrouded Fable, to one lucky subscriber. We give away a master set every single set release. So we started this with Obsidian Flames. I was already building one anyways, and it's fairly simple to pull all the commons and uncommons just as I'm putting one together. So I was like, why don't we just give one away? Why don't we just build two? We'll give one away, and the unlucky collector reached out to me and said, hey, I appreciate you doing this. I want to make custom etched binders for every single giveaway that you're doing with the master set. So they put together, I mean, it's been absolutely phenomenal. So huge shout out again to the unlucky collector. So we're going to give away this master set for Shrouded Fable, and then we're going to do another one for Stellar Crown. So Stellar Crown's only a few weeks away. We've got some banger sets coming up. So if you don't win this one, hang in there. I wish everybody could win, but unfortunately there's just only so much that I can give away, unfortunately. I wish as we grow, we'll just keep giving away more. But I do want to say congratulations to Kyle Coomer 2919. Kyle Coomer, 2919, congratulations. You are the winner of the Shrouded Fable Master Set. We let the random comment picker do its thing, and it chose you. So congratulations on being the random comment picked. You are the new winner. This is yours. This is yours. So I'm going to ship this to you. All I need is your mailing address, your credentials. So if you could just email me at dannyphantumpcontent@gmail.com. Just send me an email. We'll just verify your channel. I already pinned your comment from the Master Set video, or from the video that you commented on to enter, so we can communicate back and forth. We can make sure this properly gets to the right person. Congratulations. Like I said, if you didn't win, we're going to keep giving more stuff away. So thank you so much for hanging in there. I appreciate you guys more than I will ever be able to say. Literally more than I will ever be able to communicate. I love you guys so much. So thank you so much for everything. We're going to talk about Pokemon 151 today. I wanted to bring it back a little bit because Pokemon 151 is probably arguably the best set so far in the Scarlet and Violet era. And I say so far because we talked in yesterday's video about all the upcoming sets that are going to be releasing once we get through Stellar Crown, and then we've got Surging Sparks. I think that's what it's called. There's so many set releases, it's hard to keep them all straight, which is going, it's like it's a ladder that's continuously climbing, right? And then hopefully in January we'll have SV 8.5, which I'm hoping is going to be Terrestrial Festival. I think it's going to be, but there's not really any confirmation out there on that. And then the Trainer Pokemon set looks like it's going to be in March, and that's going to be a banger. And then maybe May will be, that'll be what, SV10 will be the Rocket set. It's like we keep getting better and keep improving, which is absolutely phenomenal, giving away a master set on each one. But for right now, Pokemon 151, arguably the best set so far throughout the Scarlet and Violet generation. And Pokemon did a wonderful thing and reprinted it like crazy. However, it is starting to inch up a little bit. And I talked to a good friend of mine, Koyan Collectibles. If you don't follow him on YouTube, definitely check him out. But we were talking a little bit back and forth yesterday about the reprint and the impact that it had on the market, because it did impact the market greatly. Obviously, sealed boxes dropped down quite a bit. You could find them in the $50 range for quite a while before they started trickling back up a little bit. And Master Balls fell quite a bit. However, they have stabilized. And now I started asking myself, hey, Fanny, is it still worth it now that the booster box prices are starting to trickle up a little bit? Is it still worth it to open up? So I calculated that data, so you can kind of get that answer for your own. It seems like this is still a good time to open up Pokemon 151 if you haven't already opened it up that much. If you're still looking at completing a master set, if you're still looking at cracking some packs for fun and getting enough value back out of the packs that you open, because let's face it, you should not expect to get your value back when it comes to opening up Pokemon cards. Like, it just should not happen. You chase something, you have chase cards that you're looking for, that you're hunting down, and those are always fun to pull, but if you don't pull them, what kind of products can produce the best value, the best bang for your buck when it comes to opening up Pokemon cards? And that's really what Pokemon 151 brings to the table and still continues to bring to the table. So we're going to look at that in this video. So I'm going to flip you guys around, and first of all, here is Koyan Collectibles site, Koyan Collectibles site. They do have 151 booster boxes in stock. I think he just restocked them last night, because when I looked, these weren't available, but he does have them for $74 a piece, so you can buy them from him. We don't have any in stock right now in my store, and I think you might be able to find them around, but I looked on eBay, Koyan Collectibles. Like I said, he's a great dude. He does great by his customers, so definitely a site that you can check out. And I also wanted to shout out Brian Pogani. I followed up with him yesterday and made sure it was okay that I shouted out his channel, because his storefront, because he does just a fantastic job talking about what it's like running an online LGS. He deals a lot with Japanese product as well, and English products. So he has them available right now for $78 as well, which is like still a little bit cheaper than what you can find out there, which is great. They offer it by the box, by the sealed case. So definitely check these stores out, Koyan Collectibles and PokeNE, for all of your Pokemon needs, whether it be English cards or Japanese cards. They always have kind of first on scene with a lot of products, the best prices, and great people. And that's really what it's all about. Working with great people is really, really important. So we're going to talk about this in specific, the Pokemon 151 booster box. So here's what we're looking at. This is a spreadsheet of every card, every valuable card, every card with value in Pokemon 151. So we've got the Master Balls at the top here, right? So these two columns right here are Master Balls. And then we've got the secret rares that you can pull, the art rares that you can pull, and the regular EX cards that you can pull. And then at the bottom, we've got pull rates calculated based off of the average expectancy of what you can pull out of a Pokemon 151 booster box. So if you go out, you go to PokeNE or you go to Koyan Collectibles and you buy a booster box of Pokemon 151, these are the cards that you are expected to pull or could pull, as well as the pull rates that you should get. So really what you should pull out of your booster box of Pokemon 151, and a value breakdown so you understand, okay, what kind of value am I looking at on average when it comes to opening up Pokemon 151. So there has been a lot of reprint news when it comes to Pokemon 151. And like I said, I was talking to Koyan yesterday, kind of going over things, and it doesn't seem like there's another reprint coming, at least as of right now. It could come. There could be another reprint that comes. I don't know if it's going to come this year anymore. Maybe it'll come next year. Maybe it won't. Maybe it won't come at all. Maybe it's done right now. It does seem like there was a small restock at stores over in Japan, like 7-Elevens and places like that, but not necessarily a full-fledged reprint. We got some very large stock quantities recently, earlier this year, which obviously impacted the market like crazy. Booster boxes fell significantly, all the way down to like $50, $55. And like I said, it happened with every set. Everything. Obviously, Lost Abyss got reprinted. There was a lot of Japanese sets that did get reprinted, and it did impact the sets quite a bit. So if you look right now, the Pikachu Master Ball is still selling at a high level, but the Master Ball has dropped. It was over $400 at one point in time. Now you can find it at $224. All this data that I pulled here is from pokedata.io. They're a site that I use to kind of track values when it comes to Japanese cards. TCG Player doesn't do a good job at that also. I would definitely recommend checking out pokedata.io to get a good understanding of where your values lie when it comes to Japanese cards, because it pulls data from a lot of different sources, including eBay, and you can kind of filter and toggle things from raw and graded prices. So it's a really great tool for tracking values when it comes to Japanese cards. Again, that's pokedata.io, but they were pulling information that showed Pikachu selling for $224, and then a lot of other huge drops as well. So this Erica's Invitation, for example, was very, very expensive the last time we looked at this. We looked at this a few months ago, and this was about $80, and it's dropped, lost about half of its value. So fell down to about $40. Now, I'm not going to highlight every single Master Ball because there's a lot of them, but I am going to talk about some of them. So the Mewtwo down to $37, the Haunter is down to $25, the Eevee is down to $31. Now, you are going to pull pretty much only one Master Ball in your booster box. I have seen people pull more than one, but only one. And again, Pokemon 151, very unique in the fact that that's the only set where you have that Master Ball promo, kind of an exclusive card, and really makes the Master Set difficult to obtain. But we've got $36 on the Psyduck. Aerodactyl is down to $17. You're down to $13 for the Raichu. The Magikarp has gone up a little bit. That one's currently sitting at $37. Single digits for the Kabutops. That one's down to $9. I'm just going to go through these relatively slowly in case you want to pause and just kind of look at specific individual cards maybe that you have in your collection, just to kind of track and get a good idea of where the value is right now. Tauros is down to $7. We've got Clefable at $9. Scyther is at $13. Tentacools at $12. Onyx, one of the cheapest ones for the Master Balls right now, down to $6. Shelter down to $11. Giovanni's Charisma is down to $8. So a lot of these have fallen into single digits or lower into the double digits. You still do have a couple that are hovering over $100, including this Gengar right here. The Gengar currently selling for $137. It's that one and the Pikachu that are selling for above $100. There used to be a few more, but that's it nowadays. Ancient Dome Fossil, Ancient Helix Fossil, you're looking at single digits for each of those. The trainer cards don't sell as well when it comes to the Master Balls. You've got Extra Tight Belt, for example, selling for only $5 currently. As far as the value goes on that, you've got Dodrio at $10. Sandshoe's currently sitting at $12. We've got Kakuna at $9. And then just various, all kind of all over the place. But for the most part, a lot of them hovering anywhere between $8 and $12, somewhere around there. You might get a few that are a little bit higher than that, but a little bit more of the more popular Pokemon like Dragonite, like Charmander, you're going to have a little bit more expensive values associated with those. So it was important to try to track all of this data so that way we could get an average as far as what you're expected to pull out of your booster box. So we're going to jump into that in just a few minutes here. If we break down the secret rare, things have changed like crazy. If we go down to this Erica's Invitation Special Art Rare, this was the chase card of the set for a lot of people. Outside of the Pikachu Master Ball, this was it. This was a card that was selling for well over $100. It went, even after the reprint came, it was still above $100. We're talking about like a lot of the full art trainers that are over in Japan selling for crazy amounts. And when the market corrected and reprints happened and the buzz kind of slowed down and the manipulation kind of wore off, this crashed hard. So you can see it fell all the way down to $59. This is now the third most expensive card in the set, or fifth most if you include the Master Balls. Third most expensive secret rare. It has fallen behind the Mew and behind the Charizard. So we're going to go through these relatively quick. You're only going to get one secret rare per booster box, which is good because it's guaranteed that you get a secret rare. Unlike the English sets right now, you open up a booster box of Twilight Masquerade, or probably Stellar Crown for that matter, you're no longer guaranteed, I mean, secret rares are all over the place, but you're no longer guaranteed to get one of those upper echelon secret rares, like whether it might be a special illustration rare or a hyper rare. You're no longer guaranteed to get one of those, but you do basically in Japan. So what would be classified as a secret rare in Japan, you're basically guaranteed to get at least one in your booster box. So you could pull a full art Venusaur EX, which counts as a secret rare. The value on that currently only sitting at about $6. The Charizard EX is the most expensive of the full art Pokemon. That is sitting at $14. Everything else, for the most part, $5 or $6 until you get to the full art trainers, like Erica's Invitation, still has a little bit of value to it if that happens to be the secret rare that you pull out of your booster box. But that one's sitting at $18 currently. Once you get to the special art rares, that's where you have a little bit more value. You can see the Venusaur EX still hovering around $36. The Charizard EX has taken over as the most expensive secret rare. It's passed up that Erica's Invitation, sitting at $79 currently. These are very similar to what you see in English as far as the pricing goes for special illustration rares, with the exception of a few cards. Obviously, the Mew EX was included in our Ultra Premium collection, so it's a lot different there because it's not included in anything over in Japan. You have to pull it from a booster box. That's why it's a little bit more expensive. Also, the art on it is just fantastic. So $61 on that. The special art rare Giovanni's Charisma is at $10. The gold Mew is at $14, and the gold Switch is at $9. The Psychic Energy over in Japan, the gold one does better than what the English one does. The English Psychic, or the English gold energies, just do not do it for a lot of people. So $12 over there in Japan. If we look at the art rares, the Mewtwo, which you cannot pull in booster boxes or in packs, as far as Scarlet and Violet 151, which is the English set of Pokemon 151, $3 for that one. So that one is included in the Ultra Premium collection for Scarlet and Violet 151. There is no product that includes the Mewtwo. Obviously, you have to pull it from a booster box. Still selling for about $3. Art rares over there are relatively inexpensive across the board for Scarlet and Violet. So the quality is amazing. If you're looking at any art rares like the Magikarp, for example, or maybe there's the Groudon or the Raichu, or some really cool looking art that you see in English that you're like, I don't want to pay $40, $50 for this artwork. Look at the price in Japan. So the Japanese set could have just significantly cheaper art for a fraction of the price, which is amazing. You can see all of the art rares in Japan from Pokemon 151. If you're looking at collecting all of them, they all sell for $5 or less, which is absolutely phenomenal. That's a testament to just how much product has been opened when it comes to the Japanese set. It's absolutely crazy to think about. So $2, $3, $4, $5 for every single one of them. And then when it comes to the regular art EXs, again, extremely cheap. So you've got $3 for the Charizard and you've got $5 for the Mew. Everything else, very, very cheap. The Mew is the most expensive because it's super playable. Obviously, Japanese Pokemon cards, very, very playable overseas. Like they play in tournaments that we can't even imagine. So the size of those Mew EX, a very, very important card to a lot of decks. So that's why it's a little bit more expensive for the Japanese Mew EX. So a lot of prices that got hit pretty hard, but for the past couple of months, they've stabilized extremely well. And we're going to look at this right now. We're going to look at the averages, the pull rates, things like that, and what to expect when you open up a booster box of Pokemon 151. So here's your pull rates right over here. So when it comes to those regular art categories that we just looked at, you should get 4 in your booster box. You should get 4 total regular art EXs. Your average price point on those right now is about $1.92. So you're going to pull 4 of them. You may pull one of the Mews, which is going to help your average price point a little bit, but you might not. You know, you might only pull Blastoise, Venusaur, Jinx, and Kangaskhan. You know, and then your average price point is going to be right around $1.92. That means on average your booster box of Pokemon 151 should have about $7.68 worth of value. When it comes to your art rares, you should pull 3 of those. Your average price point on those is $3.50. This is not skewed really by anything because every single art rare is selling for less than $5. So you've got $2, $3, $4, $5 as the price point for every single art rare. That means your average value per box, you should pull about $10.50 worth of value out of your Pokemon 151 booster box. When it comes to the secret rares, this is where it gets a little bit more dicey. So you're only going to get 1, and you could pull a full art Pokemon as your secret rare. Now, obviously, all the full art Pokemon, with the exception of Charizard, were selling for single digits. So your average price point on these is $17.74. Yeah, you could pull something like the Erica's Invitation special art rare, or the Mew EX special art rare, or the Charizard EX special art rare, but those are going to skew the numbers a little bit. So your average price point of $17.74 is impacted a little bit by that. So you should pull about $17, $18 worth of value, but it could be a little bit lower than that because the likelihood of pulling one of those top 3 is a little bit less likely than pulling one of those that is under $17. If we look at the Master Ball, kind of the same story, but there are so many of them that your average value at $15.33 is not impacted as much by the Pikachu and the Gengar. Those are the only 2 cards, again, that are over that $100 price point, but there are still tons of them that are above that $15.33 average. So you could pull something like the Leftovers, which is only worth $7, or you could pull something like the Magneton, which is worth $15, and then you're hitting that average fairly easily. So your average value per box, $15.33. If we look at your best box potential, so if you pull perfectly, now let's get the question, what if I pull perfectly? Well, if you do, you're going to pull about $330 worth of value. That means you're pulling that Pikachu Master Ball, you're pulling the Charizard special art rare, you're pulling the top 3 art rares, and you're pulling the top 4 regular art EXs. Then you're looking at $330. However, it could go the opposite way, and you could have just terrible luck. This has happened to me before because I'm extremely unlucky, which is why we had to introduce fail packs to begin with. Worst box potential, $20. So you could pull, that extra type belt, which is worth only $5. You could pull a $5 secret rare, and you could pull the cheapest of the art rares and the regular art EXs, which means your worst box potential could be only $20. You could spend $75, $80 on a booster box of Pokemon 151 and only pull $20 worth of value. That's why it's fun to look at, but it's not as fun to, like, you don't want to focus just on values. Like, you want to make sure that you give yourself the best odds to pull equal value, but sometimes it's just not going to work out. When we looked at this a few months ago, your best box potential was $389 and your worst box potential was pretty much the same. So it has not changed a whole lot over the past few months, despite the fact that there's a lot more that have hit the market, a lot more singles that have hit the market. The big thing that has changed is the price point on Pokemon 151. So last time we looked at this, you could find booster boxes of Pokemon 151 for like $56, $57, $58. Now it's a lot more difficult to find them at that price point. So I took my good friend Brian, PokeNE, I took his price point on this so you can get a good understanding of what value looks like, and it's very, very even. And one thing we did not talk about was the reverse holos in the set. So if you look at the reverse holos in the set, we're not talking about Master Balls. We're just talking about the reverse holos. You should get at least $20 in value out of just the reverse holos. And again, this isn't including all the bulk commons, all the uncommons, all the holo rares, things like that. This is just talking about the reverse holos right here. Every single one sells for, and just about every single one. There's a couple of them that sell for below $1, but every single one, for the most part, sells for $1 or more. And you're going to get 19 of them because one of that Master Ball, or one of those reverse holo slots is going to be that Master Ball. So you should get at least $20 worth of pulls in your reverse holos. Your value of pulls when it comes to the ultra rares, you're looking at about $51.25 on average. And then you add in the reverse holos for $20. Your total box value when you open it up, $71.25, which is very, very close to buying a box from Brian at PokeNE. $78. Or you can buy it from Koyan, $74. Obviously, shipping, tax, things like that play a factor. You can check out their websites. Obviously, the one that works best for you is going to be ideal. But you're looking at a loss of about $6.75. We call that the fun cost. $6.75 is not that bad for having an hour of fun. If you can stretch out opening a box of Pokemon 151 over an hour, maybe you want to open some with friends or you want to open some with family, it's not a bad deal. Pokemon 151 still very much worth it, in my opinion, as of right now. Now, obviously, as more and more packs get open, more and more boxes get opened, it's going to be a little bit more tricky as that price continues to climb. So I wouldn't necessarily hold out too much longer. Enjoy it while you can. Take advantage of the time before we get the craziness of all the new English releases that are coming out, and just kind of have some fun with it, because it looks like as of right now, the value is pretty much still there when it comes to opening up Pokemon 151. So I hope you enjoyed the data. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below. Leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a really long way for the algorithm. Share the video with your friends. Tell your neighbor about Pokemon 151 so that way they can get some enjoyment out of it. But ultimately, thank you just for taking the time to watch, to listen. I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Congratulations again to Kyle. We'll do the Stellar Crown giveaway in a few weeks once we start the master set on that. So stay tuned for that one. We'll be back to Sunday with another video. Until next time, guys, I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.